And if practice makes perfect, then we at Hardwood are well on our way to having a solid mid-range jumper game. So let's give our reporters some more reps with the 15 seconds on the clock to answer some questions about TVC Hoop. And let's start in the Ohio division. Let's welcome now Pat Chiesa and Matt Archibald. And Matt, we're going to start with you. Or actually, I'm sorry, Mark Pierce is with us covering Athens. We'll start with you, Mark. The Bulldogs came in on Thursday with a tremendous win against Wellston, a 40-point win. Is this team back mentally?
Well, this team is back mentally, Rob, and I talked to Coach Horsley and senior guard Raven Klein after the game, and they both said how big this win was for them motivationally. They've been working real hard in practice, but it hasn't been contributing to wins, and this was a big win for them to blow an opponent out and just have fun. Every player on the team scored, and it's proven that their hard work is paying off, and that's the best thing for them because it's tough when you go out there and you lose every game. But let's move on to Pat now. And Pat, who has contributed the most to Nelsonville-York's 2-game victory?
Well, of course, it's been a team effort, Mark, but if I had to pinpoint one player, her name would be Kelly Cox. Kelly dropped 27 points against Trimble. That's including four 3-pointers. And she followed that up with a 16.5 assist performance against Wellston. So Kelly's been doing it all out there, from moving the ball up court, scoring the basketball, to playing lockdown defense. And Rob, I have a feeling that we're going to hear about her a little later in the show. What do you think?
Well, I mean, we're certainly going to hear more from her later in the show. But speaking of, I mentioned Matt Archibald is going to be back with us. He actually went to CVS to go get a back brace because he's going to be on the show a lot more. And it's clear that some of the shots are starting to go down in the Ohio division. But let's now take a water break and get ready for some more mid-range jumpers, this time on the Hocking side. And Matt, he's back from CVS to talk more about the Lancer Hoops action. And Matt, we love CC here at Hardwood, but what can you tell us about Hannah McKibben and what she does to the Lancer Ball Club?
Hannah McKibben is the primary ball handler on this team. She brings the ball up pretty much any time she's on the court. She's a great distributor. She looks to get the ball into pretty much any player's hands when she's on the court. And one last thing she does the dirty work. She makes the hustle plays. She's not afraid to stick her nose in there on the loose balls. Simply, she's one of the best guards in the TVC. Yeah, we love Shanda Kuckler, but it's time to give Hannah McKibben a little love too.
And I mean, she's going to be getting some, and if they're going to make any noise in the TVC-Hocking, they're going to have to rely on McKibben's performance. But can you blame us with all the exciting action? Let's take a look at what's happening next week in the TVC. The Hocking division is entering round number 2 of league games, and the intensity only picks up from here. For Fed Hawk, the Lancers have a chance at revenge against the Waterford Wildcats, but this time the game is in Stewart. We're going to talk back with Matt Archibald this time, and the game against Waterford, it really is a chance for them to get back in the discussion of the league title, but what do the Lancers have to do to win?
There's 3 things they have to do in this game. First, they got to cut down on their sloppy passing and turnovers. They had 14, count them, 14 in the loss to Eastern and 23 against Trimble in a loss there too. The second thing they got to do, they got to continue their solid inside game. They've been getting the ball inside to Kuckler and Vincent pretty much at will when they're playing. And then finally, they're going to have to try to contain, and yes, I say contain because you can't stop Cena King, one of the best players on the Waterford Wildcats team.
And I mean, that's in the running for one of our best games of next week, so check back with us, because that could be a potential matchup for Game of the Week. But it's come time now for the part of the show where TVC heroes shine. And each and every show, we at Hardwood Heroes select a Hero of the Week. And thanks to the efforts of Kelly Cox, the Nelsonville-York Buckeyes have a mid-season turnaround that has Buckeye fans excited. It wins over Trimble and Wellston this week. She poured in an average of 21 points, draining 8 3-pointers, and went 85% from the line. We're going to talk now with Pat Chiesa, who was at both those games. And Pat, do you think that she is able to play this well, or is she able to continue to play this well down the stretch?
Rob, I most certainly do. Kelly Cox is just the floor general out there. She has a lot of momentum. As I talked before, the 2 games that she's coming off of, she was just the star out there. She was the best player on the floor. Not to mention the next 2 teams she's facing, Belpre and Miller, not exactly top-notch defenses, if you will. So, yeah, I definitely think she's going to keep this play up in the games to come.
Well, I mean, Pat, it's certainly a special player, but you have to keep an eye on her if you're a TVC-Ohio fan. But that's going to do it for us from Studio A. But Hardwood Heroes isn't done just yet. Visit our website at woub.org/heroes for the most extensive TVC coverage around. Game recaps with video highlights, feature content, scores, schedules, and much, much more will be available there. We'll be back next week with the latest TVC Hoops action. But until then, be heroic.